Hi everyone. As you all know, we recently had new patch in Dota 7.06 and it shook things up quite a bit. There's about a lot of new shit going on right now, and I thought I'd make a video to cover the basics for as far as gaining matchmaking points and playing from the mid lane. I'm just gonna go over some laning stuff because I feel like this was a good game to showcase exactly what can go wrong and what you can do well in this patch. And I am playing Puck versus Alina here. I'll go ahead and fast forward into the game, past this stuff, back up a little bit. Alright, so as I said, in this game I'm playing Puck versus Alina. Matchup is kinda even, I'd say. Lina gets the benefits from his extra attack speed and range over you, so he can hit from a longer range, but you have also at the same time a little higher damage than him. He has 59 versus your 70 damage in the start. So about 10 more damage on the Lina. He can also just spam spells, take out on the lane. So I'm mostly just gonna try to talk about or analyze this from a point of view of understanding the patch more than what I do wrong and what I can do better for the most part. So one thing to note here, he is pretty good play, but he's 747. He 9k MMR, so definitely knows what he's doing. And in the beginning here, he kind of plays pretty aggressive with his nukes and pushing the wave in my face. As Puck, you want to go for phase shift first for the most part, so he kind of takes advantage of this and pushes the wave in my face. As you can see, you get tons of creeps when you have the wave pushing towards you. So that's something that you can kind of play around with and try to get to your favor. If you have someone roaming for you and you can dive the enemy hero pretty easily, this is a great way of doing so. Just making sure that you have a lot of creeps pushing. Some heroes that really can't deal, like some heroes that have no way of dealing with lots of creeps, they have a lot of trouble when they have lots of creeps pushing in towards them, obviously. So denied. Like a OD in the beginning or a Shadow Fiend in the beginning before he gets his races up, they are very susceptible to getting dough. And there is a hero this patch that is like highly annoying that is worth talking about. This Enchantress. I only played against him a couple of games, but he has 55% slow at level 1 with this enchant spell right now. So if you're playing Enchantress and you're up against any of these heroes that can't deal with lots of creeps, you just tell your mid laner to push the wave, and then you just dive in with your 55% slow and your billion creeps that comes his way, and there's like nothing that they can do. Here we get a nice little kill onto the Lina, just barely. Down he goes.
See you in the street. And it's off. Greetings. What time is it? It's killing
I think this is pretty funny. Yeah, this is when Clockwork just tries to kill me here at some point, and I just kind of man up and kill him. I think he's right here. Oh, mistake by him for sure.
Presumably a pity.
It's also always worth talking about. Just whenever you're bottle ferrying, get rid of. I could have gotten rid of the branch too for a little bit of extra regen, but bottle ferry as much as you can. Get rid of whatever stats you have in your inventory, so that you can get the most value out of your bottle charges.
My gratitude.
So what the most valuable thing that I really want to mention here in this patch, which is going to be showcased a little bit later on in this laning stage, is that when there are this many creeps in the lane, the time you choose to leave the lane and go roam is of highest importance. And also in previous patches, I don't know exactly how good it is or when to do it, but I would, you know, leave the lane to go stack every now and then. I want to see if that's what he's doing right now. No, he's actually just running to the kill. But since you get 20% less gold from the stacks in the early parts of the game, and there's an extra creep in the lane, I feel like leaving the lane to go stack is way less valuable now in this patch than it used to be. And for the most part, I tend to stick in my lane more than I will go into the jungle and stack anything. The only time when I really want to leave the lane to go jungle is if I'm like being super tri-lane in the mid lane and there's just like a billion heroes around me at all times. Because this is right here is going to be a perfect example of what happens when you leave your lane early, and why I wanted to go into this replay and show this to you so you can see it for yourself. I've already been talking about it, but so here I choose to roam out of my lane pretty early on. Find myself a double damage room, and unfortunately he misses the stun there, so I'm not gonna get that much out of this. And I'm gonna start walking back right away. But what the mid laner needs to be doing in this case, and what is exactly what he is doing, is to shove the lane like as soon. I'll pause it for a sec here. As soon as you leave the lane, as soon as the enemy mid hero leaves the lane and he goes to do anything else, be it run into the jungle to stack camp, to go for a gank anywhere else or whatever, you need to be pushing the lane as hard as you can into the tower. So exactly this thing right here happens. He has 6 creeps now hitting my tower. Like, this is a lot of creeps, and this is a scary thing to leave free. So this kind of promotes mid heroes staying in their lane more and battling the mid lane rather than roaming or stacking camps. So I want you to have that as your main focus in this patch for the most part. That doesn't mean you should never leave your lane and go gank. That's absolutely not what it means. It just means that you have to be very careful about the situation that you choose to go gank, because this is what will happen. So I'm now down here ganking it up, having my double damage rune. We should definitely have gotten a way better value out of this. My teammates failed quite badly here in this situation, and it's gonna be way worse for us than it should have been. But at the same time, he realizes exactly what's going on here in the mid lane, and he is just taking full advantage of this. And okay, so the first catapult spawns at 5 minutes. Good to know. And as you can see, this catapult hits super hard. And small little thing to note that he did pretty well here. The catapults are super tanky and they're hard to kill. Takes a while for them to kill, and he should not be hitting the catapult in this moment, because this catapult takes way too long to kill. And we're on our way back to the middle lane. We're gonna come back to the mid lane soon. He just needs to get as much damage as possible on the tower. So as you can see, he is actually hitting the tower, and here a TP comes in and he backs off. Even gets a deny there, and then to getting denies on the creeps, keep that in mind. Also very important, as every single deny grants you 30% additional experience points. But anyways, this right here is what is very important to keep a note in this patch, and it is what is making a hero like Shadow Fiend so effective as well. Because if you're a hero that wants to leave the lane and go gank for someone else, if Shadow Fiend is there, he will just simply double nuke the wave, and then he doesn't care about anything else. He just leaves and he jungles. So he double nukes the wave, he leaves the lane to go jungle, he gets extra efficiency for taking out the jungle camps, because he gets full value out of the mid lane at the same time, and then he just goes into the jungle and he gets even more farm in the jungle taking the camps. And at the same time, there's gonna be 6 creeps, or 5 creeps, sorry, hitting your tower while you're going away roaming, and at the same time the Shadow Fiend took a full creeper for himself and jungle. So right there, that's like a level advantage that he has on you just because you chose to roam. So which is why you have to choose your situations. You go to roam very carefully. And another hero like Templar Assassin, let's say he has a triple stack Ancients early in the game. He's level 7, you're level 7. You're like, oh shit, I have a Invis rune here, I'm gonna go gank the offlane. So you run up to the offlane and try to gank, but TA just pushes the wave in your face, and then there's 5 heroes, or sorry, 5 creeps, and maybe even a siege creep hitting your tower. Your tower is dying, and he taking a triple stack Ancient at the same time. Right away, he has a big advantage over you. So those are the things to really keep in mind this patch. I'm not gonna go over any more from this game right here. Oh, the other thing, sorry, one more thing that I wanted to touch on. I have touched on it briefly earlier, but I will talk about it now too, is that these shrines are not available at the start anymore. They become active 5 minutes into the game. So what that means is, for the safe laners, that is great news. For the offlaners, that is not so great news, because they also do not have their shrines. So safe laners, try to zone your enemies as much as you possibly can. Keep them out of the lane. they will have to ferry themselves extra region, and the courier will have to be in use more often, because at the same time mid laners do not have these shrines active at the start either. And as you could see here with my starting items, I'm gonna go back to the start real fast. So my starting items look a little something like this. I do not have a lot of regen, and this is something that you can take advantage of as a mid laner as well. There are gonna be games when when you can't use your courier in the start, and you will have to see that for yourself and buy yourself extra regen and not be this greedy with your items. Because if you're playing against Treant Protector, Riki, Bounty Hunter, Monkey King, any of these heroes are like you simply can't use your courier until they show themselves somewhere else on the map, then you need to get yourself an extra set of regen in this patch, because you don't have the shrine to fall back on. And if you can get in very, very bad situations where you get low fast and you can't use your courier and you have no shrine to fall back on. It is very important for you to rethink your item choices in these games, and instead of going greedy with full iron branches like I did here, you get yourself an early salve on top of the 2 pulled regions that you hopefully get from your supports. So alright, that's gonna be it for the coverage of this patch. So just get out there and play as many games as you can. There are still tons of things to be figured out. I'm watching professional games every single day as much as I can, and but these things that I just brought up are gonna be the basics, the things to really understand to be successful in matchmaking games in this patch. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next videos that I make.